Question 1. Economist. Every business strives to increase its productivity, for this increases profits for the owners and the likelihood that the business will survive. But not all efforts to increase productivity are beneficial to the business as a whole. Often, attempts to increase productivity decrease the number of employees, which clearly harms the dismissed employees as well as the sense of security of the retained employees. All right, so our first step is to determine, is this an argument or facts? And this is an argument. What is the point this economist is trying to make to you? And you notice it is that second sentence, that not all efforts to increase productivity are beneficial to the business as a whole. And how do we know that? Well, it tells us that often attempts to increase productivity decreases the number of employees, which clearly harms the dismissed employees as well as a sense of security of the retained employees. So that would be our premise. So, going to the question stem now, which of the following most accurately expresses the main conclusion of the economist's argument? Main conclusion. So this is a main point question. We've identified the conclusion is that not all efforts to increase productivity are beneficial to the business as a whole. So now, free point, we're going to go find the answer choice that directly restates that conclusion. So let's take a look here at A. If an action taken to secure the survival of a business fails to enhance the welfare of the business's employees, that action cannot be good for the business as a whole. And is that a restatement of our conclusion? You notice clearly it is not. A does not even have to be true. We have nothing about whether it's enhancing the welfare of a business's employees. All we know is that not all efforts to increase productivity are beneficial to the business as a whole. And why? Because often attempts to increase productivity decrease the number of employees, which clearly harms the dismissed employees, as well as a sense of security of retained employees. So A definitely does not work. What about B? Some measures taken by businesses to increase productivity fail to be beneficial to the business as a whole. And you notice that B is a direct restatement of the conclusion. So B would be the correct answer. But again, let's make sure, going to C, only if employees of a business are also its owners will the interests of the employees and owners coincide, enabling measures that will be beneficial to the business as a whole. Again, you notice that is not even stated in our passage. How could it be the main point? It is not necessarily true, so C is out. D, there is no business that does not make efforts to increase its productivity. Well, D follows from the passage. The first sentence tells us every business strives to increase its productivity. So D must be true, but the problem with D is that it is not also the main point. So D would be out. And you notice that's one of the traps that they love on these main point questions. Give you answer choices that must be true because they're directly stated in the passage, hoping that students forget the other requirement of a main point question, that the answer choice also be the main point of the argument. And lastly, checking E, decreasing the number of employees in a business undermines the sense of security of retained employees. Again, that must be true, directly stated in the last part of the passage, right, which clearly harms the dismissed employees as well as the sense of security of the retained employees. But again, that is our premise, not our conclusion, so E is out.